I'm Ryan Bai. I'm the product manager at Regional Supply. I just moved to Utah about 8 months ago. I've been in the industry 25 years. Started turning wrenches on super wide format machines around 1995 and started setting up billboard printing facilities in mainland China around 1997. I've had stints as sales director of Scanvac Amiable Asia Pacific, have been a sales director, this, that, the other. So my entire career has been based on this industry. So I decided to leave the heat of Las Vegas and come join Regional Supply up here in Salt Lake City, where I found everybody to be incredibly nice and polite.
That's good.
We're a small group, so I'm going to ask a couple questions so I can tailor this to you. This is about new products, but it only works if there's products that you're interested in, and we only have about 8 of us in here. So I can tailor this down to whatever y'all are interested in. This is also supposed to be a little bit about, like, how did the supply chain get so broken? What is Regional Supply doing? I do recognize, and you do recognize, this world is no longer really the world of what you want as opposed to the world of what you can get your hands on. And what we're doing in our supply chain to help with that, and some of the products that we're now offering that are new, and then some of our pricing structures that are new as well. So I asked this gentleman if he had a printer. Does anybody else have a printer?
Yeah, we do.
You have a printer? You have a printer? Fantastic. Printers are good. I'm going to start with a couple of substrates that we're working with. We just recently brought in Gilman Brothers. Nothing against 3A. 3A is here. I adore 3A. I have a bunch of vendors. I like them all. It just comes down to supply chain. I was able to get my grubby little paws on 4,600 sheets of 3/16 4x8 white foam, and I wasn't able to supply it before, and now I'm able to supply it very well. Some of the things that you will notice in our website, you'll notice that individual sheets of foam price has increased a bit. Cases have decreased a lot. That's because you can look at foam and damage it. So if I have to take a single sheet of 4x8 and get it all the way to your shop, there's a chance that there's going to be a corner dinged, there's going to be, you know, some scuff on it. Selling it by the case, I wanted to reward you for helping me not have damage. So we also are going to have another product called Infinity Board. It's in the same line. Does anybody know what Gator Board is? Ultra Board. Styrene-faced foam. A lot of point-of-sale stuff is either direct printed with it, or you take a PSV, you know, a sticker, and then you mount to it. You know, it's like the standees that you oftentimes see in a triangular base, oftentimes at trade show or point of sale. That, if you ever cut it, we added that onto our product lineup, because styrene-faced boards usually will snap if you try to bend them. This has a significant rubber content into the styrene, so you can V-notch them and actually bend them over. So you can actually create your own A-frame with it. Once again, this is an indoor product because it does involve styrene. You put it outside, like in Vegas, and it shrivels up like a piece of bacon. The industry, we are noticing some interest in more green products than previously. And green products are becoming more price competitive to standard products. Now, green in our industry is kind of a misnomer. You know, we deal with a lot of plastic in our industry. We also deal with a lot of hard solvent. So, I mean, we do not have what's known as an incredibly green industry. So I like to use the term greener, kind of like in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. That's how this kind of goes. But we're starting to move into more paper products. So you'll have like on this we have an Image Max, which is very much like a styrene, but it's a coated paper product, so it is a fully recyclable product. Convert board is actually a paper product that is in a replacement of an expanded PVC, like Sintra. Once again, fully recyclable product. Also, as we bring some of these in, you'll see them price broken to the case. One of the things that we've been interested in is smaller shops feel, rightfully so, that they do not sometimes get the same price equity that a large shop does. So we kind of big boxed a lot of items and started doing more and more price breaks. You'll notice, if you've ever done real estate signs, kind of what we did is we increased the price of H-stakes for individual units. But if you actually do the math, at 20 units of H-stakes, a box of 50 is actually less money than 20 individual units. That comes down to labor. Finding staff these days, for us, for you, for everybody, is not an easy thing to do. I only have so many warehouse guys, and having them spend 15 minutes to count out 15 H-stakes costs us money. So I wanted to reward everybody here. If you're using H-stakes, you're going to eventually use 50 anyway. The price is almost half by getting a case of 50. And then I also don't have a warehouse guy sitting in the back counting out, playing pickup sticks with a box of H-stakes. Regional supply, I don't know if anybody's aware, but a couple of years ago, we merged with a global conglomerate called Spandex. No relation to the bike shorts. Spandex has signed distribution company, branches in 26 countries throughout Europe, the Middle East, and Australia, for a total of 60 branches. We have our own manufacturing plant of PSV vinyls, sticker vinyls, stick to the wall, stick to the floor, stick to the window. That line is called Image Perfect. It comes out of Lancaster, England. I just started releasing several products out of this. I have some fantastic window frost. If you're ever doing anybody do any interior applications, window frost is a really neat product, and you can usually really make some significant margins window frosting windows. And our products, we have 6 individual frosted products through this, and we have them in stock. Also, we have some new window perfs as well. And our naming conventions are pretty simple. ID1 means a monomeric product. It's about a 1 to 2 year product. ID3 means it's a 3-year product, a 3 to 4 year product. So not just everybody here, but myself, we have problems, figuring out what is IG180, what is 1105, what is DPF 510. It gets arduous. So we try to put a naming convention onto this where it at least made sense. ID1 perf, 7030. It's a 7030 perf. That's a shorter term. Trust me, as product manager, I have 18,000 product SKUs at Regional Supply. It's like drinking from a fire hose. We've also brought on a new polycarbonate and expanded PVC manufacturer. Once again, no offense to 3A, it just has to do with supply chain. I sometimes have outstanding orders, and I have no idea when anything's going to get in. Does anybody here do car wraps? IG180 in 2021 was a whole barrel of monkeys. So we get put under what's called allocation, which means we can order 10 kits a week. So whether we need them or not, what we do is we put it on auto order, and there'll be 10 kits, and 10 kits, and 10 kits, and 10 kits, and we don't get anything, and we don't get anything, and we don't get anything. And then all of a sudden, 6 months later, 300 rolls of IJ180 show up on my porch. This is the new supply chain that we live in. So the good news is, we have a whole lot of stuff right now. The bad news is that my financial controller is digging a hole in the Western Desert for me. But we've tried diligently to start price breaking things, so instead of buying one roll of something, if you buy 2 rolls, it saves us money on the delivery also. And we wanted to like help you. We get price increases every day, and I know that we pass those on to you. So we wanted to have a way that we can reduce costs for ourselves and reduce costs for you, and that's where the price breaks have come in. So especially in the substrates, ACMs, foam boards, acrylics, coroplast, we have price breaks for those. Some of your everyday items, your normal everyday, I'm trying to not use the bad word for your generic everyday vinyl that you use. I'm using an Oracal 3640 right now. I price broke it because if you're using vinyl every day, day in, day out, you might as well buy 2 rolls because you're going to buy another roll next week anyway. So you save yourself 20 or 30 bucks getting those. Did the same thing with PVC banner, gloss PVC banner, 54-inch by 164 foot. Price breaks on those. So just be aware that some of these things are items that you use day in, day out, and we recognize the fact that price increases, inflation is not just in our industry. You know, you go to the grocery store, you go to a gas station, so the price breaks were a way for us to reduce some of our internal costs and be able to at least save, help our customers in this period of time that we have no idea how long this is going to last. Hopefully it'll be over with. But I've been hearing it's going to be over with for the last 18 months, and I'm starting to just accept that this is the world that we have right now. How did this all happen? How come a roll of IJ180 that used to cost you, 680 bucks now costs you 800 bucks now? And that's actually like a very minor increase compared to some of this other stuff. ACM used to be 40 bucks a sheet, now, but I just did a special of 50 sheets of ACM for 50 bucks each. It's 50 for 50 special. I don't do math very much, so you'll usually know I was personally involved in something if you see round numbers. So, we've encountered resin shortage issues. We're entering resin shortage issues here. I know this is really boring stuff, but it is relevant to your business. How does, the fact that less natural gas is now flowing out from Russia over to Europe changes the natural gas price around the world, which means all of the off gases then result in a higher price. I can bore you all the way to the idea that one of the big movers in the last 2 months, you guys probably don't deal with mechanical plastics, but like Teflon went up 30%. So where this will hit you, and you'll notice, is if you ever order any anti-graffiti films. Those have gone up a bit in price just recently in the last couple of weeks. And it's kind of weird how something that's happening 4,000 miles away or 5,000 miles away affects the price of something here. Now the good news is that the good news and the bad news about China is there's been a lot of COVID lockdowns, which you're like, why is that good? Because that actually shortens supply. But it's freed up a lot of boats. So we freed up a whole lot of boat. International freight has dropped a lot in just the last 3 or 4 weeks' time. I have no idea what's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 weeks, but today it helped out. All these systems are interconnected. We're trying to stay above the curve. We're trying to buy in significant quantities so we have items on our floor for you. Broken supply chain, I was saying, like war and COVID and all of this. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. This is what we're doing. I can bore you with the details that a lot of our problems even started before COVID. A lot of our plastic problems in this country, we lost 40% of PVC, PE, and polypro capacity of raw materials during the Texas freeze a few years ago. It's like, they were shut down for a week. How does that do anything? Well, a plastic reactor looks like a big concrete mixer. And if you put all your goo inside of there and the concrete mixer stops, it's bad. So you can't just melt the stuff and break it out and it goes over again. They have to build all brand new reactors. So that's how the price of polypropylene sheets for a couple of years or Coroplast went through the roof. Coroplast has now modified and come down. Once again, we price broke a lot of those too. So anyway, as I said, your everyday vinyls, we price broke $36.40. We have a great new dry tack overlam as well for your everyday use in your 150 range. We have, oh, and I didn't mention this because we do have some car wrap people here. In the Image Perfect line, if you're walking around our trade show, there's a booth called Image Perfect, being handled by a little man with a small goatee. And he will tell you about it. These items come out of our Lancaster facility. We're just starting to carry them now. ID9 is what's called a manufacturing polymeric that can do a lot of fleet wraps. And a kit's around $7.99. So it's actually slidable and has air egress and has a 9-year lifespan. Now, that's a 9-year European lifespan. Out in the western portion here of America, I'm originally from Las Vegas. I would tell people have a lifespan of anything 6 months. Vegas, you have no chance of anything. You can put the best 3M thing on something and you face it to western exposure in Las Vegas, all bets are off. Anyway, questions? I ran through that really fast. What does everybody here use for products? What are your most common products that you buy from regional supply or in the graphic world? 650, okay, cut vinyls. Okay, fantastic. Do you ever get any, do you go by the foot, I mean by the yard, or, okay?
I do roll a lot of time on my stuff, and I use like black, white, red, stuff like that.
Okay.
I do bigger.
I also have a line, nothing against Oracle,
Right.
651.
No, I do Gerber,
I just
but
had,
that's just most of it.
my Oracle rep just stuck his head in, so I, like Oracle's fantastic, keep on buying Oracle. We actually have full conversion facilities of slitters and sheeters. One of our offshoot companies, if you ever go into Walmart and you see the 651 in what's called a Brookie Craft box, that's actually us.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So we're huge proponents of Oracle. If you ever want to try though, I do have an Image Perfect line of the 3600 line where I have several colors in that and I sell that by the yard.
Cool. Yeah.
So you can always ask the counter people.
Yeah.
Have you used that?
I do.
Is it okay?
Yeah, I like it.
Fantastic. Transfer, so if you're in cut vinyls, transfer tapes.
Transfer right or the ultra, yeah.
Like, have you ever tried Air Mask or?
I just thought of sample, but I've never tried it.
Okay,
This is gonna be
interesting.
interesting.
Let us know. I'm going to leave some business cards up here because I don't get in the field nearly enough. I used to always be in the field constantly. I'm starting to lose touch with the real world. You're going to start seeing me more at the counter and actually going and visit customer sites. My job is a weird and wacky job. I get to identify products, hopefully, that the industry wants to adopt. But part of being regional supply and spandex, we have our entire Image Perfect line that we're pushing forward. We have 32 vendors. We have a lot more than 32, but 32 that are exhibited here. But yeah, I really like the transfer right products, along with the cut vinyls. And if you do car wraps, you'll take some samples of the transfer right and the Air Mask too. The Air Mask has some neat stuff about it. What do you guys print?
So we print all of our electronic product labels that go on our audio equipment across the nation. We're a K-12 education technology company, and we just decided to start printing all the labels in-house. So we have a HP large format latex printer, a Graphtec plotter, and then whatever a laminator is. So we buy, I think, Image Perfect and Oracle overlam white matte vinyl, we ran into an issue with the supply chain where what we started with went
Yes.
out, so we switched to your guys' floor logo, or like your floor vinyl.
Okay.
And that's been working great, and we bought like 20 rolls of each.
Oh, fantastic.
So that's mainly what we print on, but we're always looking for new stuff.
So you print your own labels, so do you individualize the labels to some extent, or do you just have,
For the most part, it is just a standard like fascia plate that goes on like an amplifier, so nothing
Nice.
really needs to change. And then we do have a assembly team in Mexico and in Utah, and so there we will print like custom serial codes. Luckily, the machines we run don't do that, so they deal with all the serialization of all of our equipment. But we're running about 4,000 product labels every few weeks right now. So
that's awesome.
insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
In Vegas, one of the largest sign shops is not a retail sign shop. There's an equipment company out there called, oh gosh, Dawn. I remember the first name of the owner of it, but the guy runs $600,000 worth of materials, and he's a heavy equipment rental company, Ahern Rentals, and they also manufacture equipment. And their entire sign shop, which they have like 6 Rollins and all of this, and run through $600K of materials or whatever, $1 million worth of materials, is simply putting what they call the data information on all of the heavy equipment rentals all over the place. And a lot of that's all personalized, and they have their own serial numbers so that they can scan it when they're renting it in and out. And so a lot of it's not always just retail stuff. So do you do car wraps also?
Yeah, I do everything.
Really?
I do real estate signs, I do oil field location signs, I do door logos for oil field companies.
Okay.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Have you seen our price changes in Coroplast?
No,
18
no.
by 24s?
I usually do try to order that in pretty bulky things, so, yeah.
Look
But
on the
real
website, there's
estate
actually
signs are
price
good.
breaks on
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna have to check that because the real estate signs are good for like, not like for anything, especially where there's new companies for roofing and stuff. I'm like, here's your best advertisement, stick your logo on this, stick it out there when you're on the roof, you're fixing it, that's your advertisement,
Yep.
take that, go to the next job. And he's like, that's a good idea, like, so it's a lot of everything. And then, of course, the oil field signs, they're those bigger signs, so that does take a little bit of time to make. But I'm using cut vinyl, but I also print, so yeah, it's crazy. Layering a lot of vinyl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I do a lot of crazy
Really,
stuff.
really neat. Take a look at all of the core class.
Yeah.
All of them are price broken. If anybody's looking for something weird or unicorn-like, I go and I hunt that stuff down. You know, I'm very involved in the supply chain. As I said, at 23 years old, I moved to Shanghai in order to set up a billboard printing factory. So all of this inkjet stuff, this was the dawn of that. This is the beginning of the end of the sign writers. So I've been in this industry. I only know this industry. I've been in it since I was a kid. And I really enjoy teaching anybody or searching for things, because I owe this industry a lot. This industry has been fantastic to me. You know, gave a guy the ability to, turning wrenches on big printing machines to be able to see the entire world. And live there for a period of time, until I really missed Taco Bell and Costco and came home.
Okay, question. On the price breaks, where do we find those out on the website? You know, like for
It should be
different
on the,
ones, or
on the,
just-
on the item. So like if you, like look at 3640, look at the website, look at 3640, and you'll see 1 to 2 rolls this much, 2 to 4 more rolls that much. Same with the ACM, same with Coroplast, same with Dry Tack, Dynamic Plus, and we're going to be doing more. You'll also notice it in squeegees. If you ever do those blue squeegees at all, you'll notice that I increased the price of an individual one, but like a case of 25 is like nothing. Also did case break prices on gold squeegees. I will be, because sometimes squeegees are just one of those things, they're like pens.
Yeah, they disappear.
They disappear.
They walk away.
They're with that extra sock that you can't find in the dryer. They're all living over with the extra sock drawer somewhere. We will be getting more into tools. We just started some of the Image Perfect line on some wrap gloves, some rivet brushes, some of those. That stuff's going to go fast, and you'll start seeing more stuff. Does anybody pick up from our will call? So our display cabinet just recently got populated. We're going to have some more stuff in there. Did anybody start picking up our banner tape? $13.97 PP. It's a Oracal 1-inch tape. Price broke it. It's like, 13 bucks a roll for 55 yards. If you're in the crafter industry, 55 yards of double-sided tape will last you like.
What was the name of that? What was the name of that one again?
$13.97 PP or red banner tape.
That sounds too.
Yeah, it's an Oracal. It's not a generic product. It's an Oracal product, and I can stick my 6-year-old to the wall with it.
Pressure sensitive even.
Pressure sensitive, exactly. What do you guys do? You guys do crafting?
Well, she does, but it's mostly screen printing, so we just.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's always been screen printing, but she's splintering me off into her own thing, so.
Okay. Have you started looking at any of the DTG or the DTF products or the heat transfer stuff that's out there?
Heat transfer mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm about to have a fist fight out there between Polytape and Caesar, you know?
I think they're about to have a face off, just kidding.
I think my Coroplast competitors are also about to get in a fist fight too. I hate to say it, I'm from Vegas,
Bring
you
them
know,
all together.
I'm running odds. Any other questions for me? What do you guys,
We do a screen printing embroidery shop, and
Okay.
so screen printing, and then we do a little bit of signs and banners.
mostly screen print and then cut vinyl? Do you have a plotter?
Yep, we do the HTV and we have a sublimation machine and laser and some other stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you ever are you using the laser on acrylics or anything like that?
Teeny bit, mostly
Okay.
we cut out the twill for the embroidery with it, and we cut out leather patches and things.
Oh, nice. Do you do some kind of embossing on leather at all? That's really nice. Those lasers have come so far. I mean, they can do a lot. The return on investment on those are quite good.
We've got a roll-in printer too, so that.
Oh, fantastic. No, I'm not huge on screen print front. Screen print has not had a huge amount of advances, but we have a salesman in-house by the name of Rob. Rob is our screen print guru, and he's happy to work with somebody that's, whether they're screen printing shirts or they are screen printing whatever. It's a really neat. Is it an at-home business or do you have a storefront?
Storefront.
Nice, nice. Well, any of that world, with Polytape and with I want to call it Caesar. Those guys are here to help you. So we're really excited to have this show so that you can actually get up, and it's not like ISA where they only have 3 minutes for you. This is a much nicer environment. And do you guys do any in-house signage at all? Or?
We do a lot of, from the company rewards when you're an employee for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. We've made giant foam board posters so people know they get their vacation or they get their TV. We print on a lot of PVC just banner material. We have now hiring signs that we put out anytime we do a job fair. We create a custom sign for there.
Did you do our own drawing press?
We do. So when we bought our chronometer, we originally were going to have to keep the banner updatable. So we bought one with the hammer, it's noisy, it's not ideal, but that was so we could clip in the new date and and we have to reprint the whole sign, and that failed miserably, so now we just reprint the sign every time, and we kicked ourselves that we have to sit there and hammer in every grommet, so.
You know, after you've hammered them a few times, you know, we do have a grommet press for
And
sale.
it's pretty cool.
I want one.
They're worth their weight.
What do you want for Christmas? I want a grommet press. You know?
Everyone comes and looks at me and like,
Get that.
As you're making all the noise in the shop, like what?
Yeah,
It's
or-
way easier.
yeah, it's,
And by the way, my MacTac rep was just giving me a hard time that I'm not carrying her felt squeegees. And so I will be carrying her felt
I
squeegees.
like felt squeegees, and I think they're good.
No, it's just a matter of drinking from a fire hose. You know, it's like chloroplast in the election year trumps felt squeegees,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
For sure.
But now that, you know, I have a whole bunch of chloroplast and H-stakes, I can concentrate on things like felt squeegees.
Take off. Felt's gone, the squeegee's gone.
Yeah, you can get those wrinkles. Have you ever done those? Those are actually pretty handy.
Yeah, and I just buy a roll of, old monkey dust, that squeeze them all.
Monkey strips
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
yeah.
I get
yeah.
a monkey tails because it's just one roll.
Yeah, that's what I
Because I
do.
got a squeegee, it's like 4 feet long, so it's like, okay, 4 feet.
We do carry them. They all joke with me because I always would use monkey strips as an example of, I'm trying to get these things done for you guys. And then, you know, monkey tails was like, you know, down here. So it's not uncommon because I use this as such a common way of speech that I will find a banana with a package of monkey tails on my desk with some regularity. So, well, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show and you have a fantastic weekend.